Good people, good people, good people. Welcome to another edition of Commander's Wrap, where you get all your Commander's news in 15 minutes. I'm your host, Dr. Wonderful, Doctor of Writing, Professor of English, and avid Commanders fan, joined here by my co host, Kevin Bayne. We air every Sunday at 9 a.m. Eastern on YouTube and replay at 10 a.m. on Spotify, Amazon Music, and Audible. How you doing today, Kevin?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
I'm doing pretty good. I think I'm still grieving that Thursday night game. Just so much to talk about.
Yes,
So much to
yes.
talk about. And so we are actually recapping both games because our episode last week aired before Washington had their first game of the season against the New York Football Giants, whom the Commanders did beat last week by a score of 21-6. But there were some legitimate concerns, I think, out of that game. Penalties. There were a lot of penalties on both sides of the ball for Washington. Timing also seemed to be an issue, as I thought that Jaden Daniels seemed to be a little bit off, a little bit behind a couple of receivers. Um, Washington I can't remember the exact number of penalties, but what were your takeaways from the game against the Giants, Kevin? The good and the bad.
Yeah. You know, uh, look, we got the W, so that's always good. Definitely have some things to work on there. Uh, something that we mentioned a couple of times going through the preseason were these penalties, as you just mentioned. Um, I think it gets looked over when you get the win, but we had 8 penalties that led to 54 or 55 yards. Uh, you do that against better teams, and it very well could be the difference maker of winning or losing. Hopefully, Quinn and the coaching staff they can get through to these guys because I'd hate to see that come back and haunt us. Another thing that I saw, I'll add in that the defense looked really good as far as run stopping. Um, it's no secret our offense was a strong point last season, and going into the off season and the draft, as we said before, it was clearly addressed by Peters and Quinn. More the defensive side of the ball and stopping the run. And look, I know it's against the Giants, but to basically shut down their running game, I think they held Tracy under 75 yards, 73 yards, something along that. Gave him trouble in the passing game. They didn't allow a single touchdown. So when you hold Russell Wilson and Tracy and Neighbors, from not getting in the end zone, that's pretty impressive. Um, Last but not least, while the offense did have a bit of trouble with the penalties, there was even a little bit of miscommunication. There were some drop passes. Uh, I think they will get a lot of these mistakes cleaned up. It's still early. If it was week 5, I'd probably be, a lot more concerned. And then just on a side note, Debo freaking Samuel, that dude, man, he has been. Obviously I know he's talented. I was not expecting him to do what he's been doing so far. The bad news that we just got with Eckler, we are going to need Debo to continue doing what he's doing. And yeah, um, so hopefully Debo keeps that up because right now I think he's going to be a huge asset of this team.
Right. There were some obviously some really big positives out of that game against the Giants, and that being Bill Merritt, right, getting his first touchdown,
Mm-hmm.
getting 82 yards on 10 carries, and he was also named the Pepsi Zero Rookie of the Week, right? So a great award for him, a win and in a win. So awards are always sweeter when you get them in a win. But we need to now shift, Kevin, to our second segment, which is on Green Bay. And as much as we said that Jada needed to be a bit more on time and the team needed to commit less penalties, neither happened. And the game against Green Bay was a 180 of the performance that the defense had against the Giants. Now, Green Bay is a very good team. They just picked up Micah Parsons, right? They're very good defense, right? There's no short change in Green Bay. There's no short change in Green Bay. But overall, like we got hosed. Even though the score is probably not indicative of what really went down.
Yes.
And we got people hurt, two players out for the year in Austin Eckler and Dietrich Wise. Just horrible, just horrible. John Bates was also injured, and then of course Jane Daniels pops up with a knee, or at least as reported by Grant on his morning show on 106.7, that Jane Daniels was checked out uh, during the game, and then he was checked out again Friday morning. So we'll see what that could mean. But talk to us, Kevin, about that game, what you saw, and what you feel like you this could mean.
Yeah. Wow. It was a hard one to watch. Yeah, I think coming into this game, I knew this was going to be a tough matchup. I don't think anybody, thought we were going to go in there and just smoke Green Bay, right? Everybody knows they're a good team, and short turnaround week. You're traveling, you're going to Lambeau Field. It's not an easy place to play. Um, and so, I mean, honestly, not a whole lot went right in this one. It was just that bad. I'll even go out and say that between last season and the two games this year, it is the worst performance that I have seen us play yet. It was that bad. Um, the good that did happen, you got special teams, with the exception of the kicker. Um, Tress, he was on point as usual with the punts. We had good special teams coverage. We had really good special teams returns, including Debo with the 50-yard one. Luke had some good yardage ones, and they put us in good field position. Unfortunately, we just couldn't capitalize off of any of that. As far as a lot did go wrong. Um, some of the biggest things were the offensive and defensive line were getting dominated, and
Yeah.
while Jaden didn't look like his normal self, he was under constant pressure the entire game. And I think that had a lot to do with maybe the way he was playing. The traveling. I think Green Bay, they had 4 or 5 sacks, right? And Parsons was on his hip, and it seemed like every time I looked up, Parsons was he was in pursuit. If he wasn't on him, he was right there behind him, and it was like, yeah, Jaden was he was running for his life all night long.
Yeah. Yeah. So these are things that got to get cleaned up. I mean, we also invested right heavily in both of these lines. Laramie Tunzel was traded for a reason. Excuse me. Josh Connerly was drafted right
Yep,
at right
yep,
tackle for a reason. So, like, both of these lines were invested in heavily. So I'm gonna trust that the coaches, will get themselves together, because I think that this was also on coaching as much as everything else.
yes,
Many people will say penalties, pre-snap things. Many of them say that's a coaching thing. So I
yeah,
also need the coaching to get better. We got out physicaled, we got out pushed, we were manhandled, and that is not what I think Dan Quinn wants of his team, and that's not what he believes his teams should be. So
yep. That
yeah,
play calling was bad. It was really bad.
suspect
Yep.
for sure. Suspect for sure. All right, everybody. We'll be back next week to give you a recap of the Commanders game against the Las Vegas Raiders. Obviously, we're hoping to bounce back from that week 2 loss against Green Bay. For Kevin Bayne, this is Dr. Wonderful, Doctor of Writing, Professor of English, and avid Commanders fan. And this has been your latest episode of Commanders Wrap, where you get all your Commanders news and a little bit of opinion too in 15 minutes.